Good afternoon, Rich Nass, Executive Vice President with Open Systems Media and leader of the Embedded and IoT franchises, here for this week's chat with Ray Zinn, who's been in the semiconductor electronics industry for a very long time. Good afternoon, Ray.
Good afternoon, Rich. You make me sound like an old man. I guess I am an old man. Okay. So, yes, I've been in the industry for over 50 years.
I believe it was you who said you're only as old as you feel.
There you go.
And knowing your schedule, you do pretty well. Okay, so we talked last week about the shakeout of the election. We talked about it sort of from a high level. Let's get into one of the real platforms that Trump stood on and that was immigration. Now, I don't want to go down the path of what is immigration. Is it right or wrong? Should we be kicking people out? But let's talk about how it affects our industry. Will his stance on immigration have an effect on our industry? I mean, are there illegals working in the factories of our electronics industry?
Not to my knowledge, because again, our industry is pretty large, and has a lot of prominence, a lot of scrutiny, as you would. There are a lot of penalties that would have to be paid if we were found to have illegals actually working within the factories, because that's against the law, and our industry is very sensitive to that. So I do not think that there are very few, if any, of our companies have illegals working in their factories.
I'm actually a little surprised to hear you say that. Isn't that naive? To think. I mean, there's you hear numbers of 4 million, 7 million illegal immigrants in the country. How could they not be working in these factories?
Well, I mean, I ran Micrel for 37 years, and I know that we went to great lengths to make sure the people that we hired did have legitimate authority and right to work in this country, either green card or some kind of visa that allowed them to do it, and that's legal. That's not illegal. So, and I have a number of friends that run companies in our industry. Speaking now primarily of the semiconductor industry, and they have said the same thing. We to my knowledge, I don't know of any of my industry compatriots that are hiring or have hired illegal people for working in their companies.
Okay, I'm going to go in a slightly different direction here now because of what you just said. How well does the CEO know what's going on in terms of hiring? I don't know how many people you had at Micrel. I would guess it was upwards of 1,000 people. How do you know who's being hired?
Well, again, the company has policies and procedures, and it's a stated policy of the company, especially Micrel, who is public, that we would not hire people who had not obtained the proper documentation to work in the country, as well as by the way, we hired people in foreign countries and where they worked in those foreign countries, and we had to ensure that those people that worked in foreign countries were also authorized to work in those countries. So I'm assuming, as I say this, that my people were following the procedures that we have outlined publicly regarding the people being authorized to work in their respective jobs.
Okay, I hope that's true, but we'll see for sure. So you don't think that building the wall, if we throw out these, I don't even know what the number is. If we throw out these people, we'll really see a difference in our professional lives?
I don't at all. I mean, I'm very confident that our industry has hired the proper people. They have to pass, a drug test, a background check, and I know at least at my company, and I'm sure it is at the companies that you're familiar with, there are very strict procedures and policies that immigrants or employees have to follow in order to be hired permanently at our respective companies. I think that the media has made more of this than should have. I think just on 60 Minutes a few days ago, Trump said that he was going to get rid of the bad guys. In other words, the people who are gang members and drug dealers and murderers and whatever. That's, I think, who he's going to go after, because I think the Congress would support that, him going after people who are dangerous. And I think that's been his whole thing about, being a law and order type guy and again, being sensitive to people and their families. I think he's clearly stated that his goal is to go after the bad guys and get rid of them, and then he would look at other people who are here illegally but are good, honest, working people. So I take him at his word, and I think the Congress would support that.
Okay, very good. As always, time will tell whether that actually works out or not, and whether he could actually do the things that he wants to do. But hopefully he'll be true to his word, and as you say, will not have any effect on us.
I'm sure. I'm not sure. I should say I'm very confident that it won't have an impact on our industry, and or any very, very, very little impact. So I don't think we have anything to worry about in that respect.
Okay, one more now in a space that you're a little closer to. What about investment in our industry? Is this a good time to be thinking about a startup?
Yeah, I especially given what he said about wanting to grow the country and build this nation. Whether you're a foreign company that wants to invest more in our industry, or if you're U.S. based, I think now's a very good time, because I think he's going to be very supportive of growth for not only our country but for the whole world. So he wants everybody to win. He wants to be very inclusive, he says, and I think it's a good time.
Okay, very good. Well, this was a cornucopia of topics, which I guess is appropriate with Thanksgiving right around the corner.
There you go. And I'd like to wish you and your listeners a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much, and you do the same. That was Ray Zinn. He's our weekly guest, longtime electronics industry veteran, and I'm Rich Nass with Open Systems Media. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot, Rich.